this thing on? Because it's getting ready to be on.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bell Ringer podcast. My name is Greg. Your guests named today are Michael and David. They are organizers for Startup Weekend, an awesome kind of startup boot camp here in Buffalo, New York. If you're thinking about attending, listen to the podcast for all the details, and then definitely register. I'll put the link in the description. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoy the episode, and don't forget to rate us on iTunes. And also, we're now available on Spotify. Okay, that's it. Thanks, guys. Bye. All right, guys. Thank you very much for coming in. If you don't mind introducing yourselves for the audience.
My name is Michael Spence. I was a participant in Startup Weekend last year and decided to join the planning committee to try and make it even better this year.
My name is David Brenner. I have a similar story. I was a participant in 2015. I've been an organizer for the past couple of years.
So, Michael, what is Startup Weekend for those that don't know?
It's pretty much a 2.5-day startup boot camp where people pitch ideas. The crowd votes on which ideas they like. They form teams around those ideas and have 2.5 days to come up with a minimum viable product, which judges then vote on the top 3 winners.
And you guys both have participated in the past. What was your experience like when you did participate?
I showed up not really having a sense of what it was. I knew I wanted to be involved in the startup community, and I knew a couple of people that were involved, and they told me that Startup Weekend is a great way to get involved. So I joined. I showed up to the event. I didn't really have an idea, so I came up with one on the spot and I pitched it. We actually formed a team around it. I met a lot of really great people through it. I almost moved forward with that idea, but ended up joining my current startup called Thimble as a result of that weekend.
How about yourself?
Yeah, I had been attending the Startup Grind series, so there's a speaker series that was happening at DIG. Saw that this event was there. It was kind of a way to jump in and get hands-on. I also came in with an idea. Mine wasn't voted in, so I just joined another team where I thought they had an idea that was something viable that could really turn into a product or service, even though it didn't. I met some really smart people. We were mentored by some good people in the community, and it's a great get your hands dirty community building kind of startup experience.
Yeah, so for those that maybe have never done it before, and maybe they're coming in, they don't have an idea of their own, or they don't have a group of friends that they want to join with. What are the machinations of it? How do they, what can they expect when they get there?
Yeah, Mike kind of laid out the format. So, you show up, and if you have an idea, you get 60 seconds to pitch it, and then teams form around everyone votes and teams form around the top ideas. But if you don't have an idea, or even if you do, you probably don't have all of the skills necessary to, build the entire project yourself or the business yourself over the weekend. So part of your pitch is saying, I need help with web development or business or marketing or, design, whatever it is. And if you show up and you don't have an idea, hopefully you can join a team and contribute in some way, whether it be business or marketing or web development, any one of those skill areas.
Yeah, I agree with that. Is that just because you don't have an idea and you don't see yourself as an entrepreneur or someone that wants to start a business doesn't mean you shouldn't attend. Because there's going to be people there that are entrepreneurs that are going to be involved in startups and companies locally, and it's an opportunity to show your skills, right? If you're at UB studying computer science and you're a data analyst and you can scrape a website for data, that's very valuable to some companies, but they're not aware of who you are or what you can do. But you go show people. Buffalo's a small city, right? And the startup community is even smaller. So go show some people what you're capable of. And right, you network before you need it. You never know where those relationships are going to lead down the road. So just because you're not an entrepreneur, don't have an idea, I would still encourage you to come because people with ideas need that support anyways.
Yeah, and I would say even if you don't feel like you're an expert, you can still get something out of the weekend for sure, just by being exposed to all of this. And there's more than enough work where you'll find something that meets your skill set.
So what type of skill sets are needed on a team? You mentioned web development, marketing, so is there kind of a spot for almost anybody or any skill set?
Yeah, so because it's fast-paced, right? It's people that are going to get their hands dirty, but people that know how to write a business plan, people that know how to pitch the idea to the judges, people that know how to create a monetization strategy around an idea. You need people that can develop a website, people that can integrate the back-end developers of a website.
Salespeople that can go out and validate that this is a product that's actually needed by the customer base that you're trying to serve.
Yes.
Just about anything can probably find a fit of some kind.
Yeah, and what do you say to people that are listening to this and think this is kind of a daunting task to do over 2 days? You guys have both experienced it. What do you say to those folks?
I mean, it is. It's a lot. You won't accomplish everything that you want to accomplish.
Right.
If you're time constrained. But you'll come out of it and look back and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did all of this in one weekend. It's really, you accomplished a lot more than you think, but also less than you want. So.
Yeah, and just the whole business plan. They've got this business plan canvas thing that's like it's like a crash course in business planning. And right, I've known founders that have spent weeks and months and years to write a business plan and to kind of put the pieces together in a time crunch. You're forced to prioritize. Project management becomes a huge part of the experience because you have several balls in the air and you have to move them all towards the finish line, kind of, right, for the 3-day finish line. But I think you're always surprised by how much you can accomplish, right, when you get a few people pulling in the same direction, especially with complementary skill sets.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, it's worth pointing out, too, that we've had teams come out of Startup Weekend that form businesses. Heads Up is definitely one that, really ran with it and, formed a full company and has a product on the market and all that kind of stuff. Third Story was a winner last year, correct?
Yeah.
They're, still doing it, and I think there's a bunch of others. Buffalo Automation Group, I think, is a semifinalist in 43 North this year. They came out of Startup Weekend.
Yeah, and the Take It All guys are still working on getting their product to market, who were the winners last year. So, and I think my reason for joining the planning committee this year is so that we can help post-event to continue the winners to have momentum to push those ideas through and to have a minimum viable product to see if it's going to fit in the market and to not. There's so much steam that's built up over those 3 days. And a lot of times it's strangers that come together, right? Their commitment was a 72-hour,
54 hours.
54-hour commitment, right? And then doesn't mean they're going to stay on board and make this idea happen. But you've got the foundation to build something from. So if we can provide some support post-event to keep that momentum and let them see if they can turn it into something real, I think that's our end goal, is that these things don't end as ideas at the end of the weekend.
Right. So it's really about the community, about the ecosystem, and it's about building that even further. Talk a little bit about the other people that are involved outside of the contestants. There's the mentors and the judges. It's really kind of a rallying point for the whole ecosystem, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Our presenting sponsor this year is Viaduct, which is a startup recruiting firm. So, if you come out of the weekend and you have a team and okay, we're kind of weak in these areas, you can connect with them. 110 Capital is a VC firm. Janae Pitts from that is one of our judges this year, as well as a mentor, and she's really, gonna give quite a bit. She's, I think, 2 hours of consulting time as part of the prize package for the winning team to sit down with her and go through, some of the materials that they put together for their client companies, their portfolio companies.
Yeah, and Marnie Levine and Launch New York are there to support the winners as well. Culligan Law has been a very generous sponsor this year, with Matt Pelkey being a mentor as well as providing some legal support for the winners to establish their business contracts, right? Do some things the right way.
Infotech Western New York and the Western New York Venture Association are two more sponsors that are both, if you win, you get a membership to Western New York Venture Association, which is kind of a testing ground, I guess, for the Buffalo Angels. So you could actually get investment out of, the weekend if you actually pursue the business afterwards. And
Yeah, so we have all of these supporting sponsors and partners and judges that help weave these people into the startup community and ecosystem that already exists, and that's the value, right? That they continue to get these support services after the idea is validated, so that they can create jobs and create revenue and grow a thriving business.
Yeah, and just one last thing to add, if you look at kind of the history of Startup Weekend in Buffalo, a lot of the existing startups right now grew out of Startup Weekend in some way. John Spitz from Z80 Labs and 43 North and all that kind of stuff was kind of the spearhead of it. Steve Poland, Dan Magnuszewski, Dan Giganti, all sorts of other people have contributed and helped get Startup Weekend off the ground, and now they're Dan Magnuszewski's running ACV as their CTO. A big Buffalo success story for sure.
Absolutely.
Right. And you mentioned a lot of the success stories, the companies that are, still going, that came out of it. Your story's kind of unique. You didn't bring your idea from Startup Weekend forward, but, you're working at Thimble, which is a successful local startup. Talk about how we can kind of use the weekend, even if the ideas don't go forward, but to funnel these people into the ecosystem and into jobs like you kind of followed.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I heard about Z80. I was a student at RIT at the time, and I had heard about Z80 and all this stuff, and I worked for some companies in Silicon Valley and all that kind of stuff before, as a college intern at RIT, and I knew kind of what startups were, but didn't know that any of it was happening in Buffalo. When I found out about Z80 Labs and 43 North and all that kind of stuff, I was pretty excited about it.
Are you from Buffalo?
I went to school in Eden, high school in Eden, New York.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was, excited. I was in Rochester at the time, and that's what got me involved was, taking a leap into Startup Weekend and participating. I didn't pursue my idea, but through that I met my co-founder of Thimble, Oscar, and we kind of, went from there and launched our business.
Awesome.
All right. So for those that want to participate because of this podcast, they're so riveted, and we got them involved. How do they sign up, and when is it? Where is it? Some of the details.
Yeah, the event is going to be held at UB South Campus at Hayes Hall, September 14th, 15th, and 16th of this year. So it's just in a couple weeks, and you can sign up at if you just search for Buffalo Startup Weekend 2018. You'll go to startupweekend.org and type in Buffalo, New York, and you'll find all of the details, including the schedule. It's a great event. You get 7 free meals, a T-shirt, all sorts of other goodies just for showing up and in participating. And then again, we kind of touched on the prize package, but we really put a lot of effort this year into making sure that the prizes are helping the teams continue with their ideas and launch a successful business.
Yeah, so we touched on the prize package. Let's run through it all together. I heard the counseling and some of the support services. So what is the winner, or what do the winners get?
Yeah, we have a bunch of books kind of handpicked for all of the winning team to, Lean Startup and all of the kind of startup Bible type books to, get you going. We have counseling with 110 Capital, membership to Western New York Venture Association,
Culligan legal
Right.
support.
Yep. I should have a list in front of me.
Yeah.
I promise it's a really great prize package. We're also, I kind of mentioned the continuing support. One of the things we're doing this year is providing the winning team with dinner with the mentors that they choose. Launch New York has stepped up and agreed to counseling with one of their entrepreneur in residences. I think it's 2 hours of consulting work, which, from my personal experience, we were still are a client of Launch New York, and it was tremendously helpful sitting down with someone that's, been there and done that, and really helped us fine-tune our business model.
And we didn't mention, but there's relationships with University of Buffalo and the Launchpad. Where there's been relationships with Center for Entrepreneurial Leadership in the past. So we have the education, right? And there's also providing the space this year where it's been a dig in the past. So we can't understate the value that UB plays in this relationship as well.
Absolutely.
And how many groups are going to win?
3 winning teams.
3 winning teams. Okay. Anything else people should know before they sign up?
If you're thinking about doing it, just do it.
Yeah.
It's totally worth it.
If you're a student, it's great for your resume. If you ever want to get into business, this is the best $25 you're ever going to spend to get hands-on experience, a story to tell, add value to your network. You really should be there, right? You should be there.
Yeah, that's a great point. I always joke with my founder when we interview any business students that it's such a hard major because you don't have the work experience to show. Like, you know, we don't know that you can sell, or we don't know that you can do this. But if you come out of Startup Weekend and you say, like, look, we did this, we got 5 paying customers in a weekend,
Yeah.
you know, that speaks directly to real experience that you can show to potential employers.
Definitely. It's a great story to tell, right?
Great. Well, that's super exciting. Before I let you guys go, we have a Blizzard round, so I guess I'll ask a question. We'll go around the table. If you were a flavor of ice cream, what would you be?
Swirl.
Vanilla.
Book or TV show that you'd recommend?
Oh, what's it called? I like the show with the hacker. I don't remember what it's called.
Mr. Robot?
Mr. Robot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great one. Office Space is one that I think is way underappreciated.
Okay. Text or phone call?
Phone call most of the time.
This is a tough one. It depends on who, but I guess text.
Bills or Sabres?
Bills.
Bills.
Game tonight, as we're recording. Hiking or skiing?
I'm going to say hiking, but I don't really do either.
We were part of the Telluride Venture Accelerator, and, you know, Telluride's a world-renowned ski resort. I never have been skiing still, so I got to go with hiking.
Okay. I'd like to ski, I just haven't done it.
And last question, biggest one, chicken wings, drumstick, or flat?
I'm a drumstick guy.
Flat.
All right,
So let's go get some chicken wings.
drumstick. Yeah, we'll get lunch after. All right, thank you very much, guys.
All right, thanks a lot.
Great.
Bell Ringer is a podcast by Invest Buffalo Niagara, the region's privately funded, nonprofit marketing and economic development organization. Please rate this podcast, follow our social media channels, and read our blog at buffaloniagara.org for the best of Buffalo Niagara. Come grow your business with us.